Dear friends, in this video, I am trying to delve into the theory of vital force, the philosophical foundation on which homeopathy was originally built up, which makes the theoretical system of homeopathy totally incompatible with modern science. In aphorism 9 to 16 of Organon, Hahnemann explains his vital force theory, which is actually a reassertion and extension of unscientific philosophy of dynamism that was an eminent philosophical stream among intellectuals during his period in Europe. This part of Organon contributes much in making homeopathy unacceptable to modern scientific community, and it seems to be the greatest stumbling block in our efforts of making homeopathy a genuine medical science. This part of Organon reflects the most primitive state of scientific knowledge that was available to Hahnemann in the historical space-time context he lived in, and evolved his path-breaking ideas. I have no doubt if a great genius such as Samuel Hahnemann had lived on this earth a few years more later, in a more advanced scientific knowledge environment, he would have completely avoided this philosophical part from his Organon. In my opinion, to be fair to the legacy of our master, these most unscientific aphorisms should be bracketed from new editions of Organon being taught in our colleges, classifying those parts as only of historical interest. They should be replaced and updated with new scientific understanding of life, disease, and cure based on modern biochemistry, physiology, molecular pathology, pharmacology, pharmacodynamics, and other related branches of advanced life sciences. For a scientific minded person of modern era, there is nothing to be seriously debated or argued over the vital force theory in Organon other than noting its historical premises and moving away into the archives. Homeopathy can become a true medical science only when the vital force theory is discarded and modern scientific knowledge incorporated into its place. Homeopathy will become more rational, more scientific by replacing the concept of vital force with modern scientific understanding of molecular level biochemical vital processes. Hahnemann says in Organon, aphorism 9, in the healthy condition of man, the spiritual vital force or autocracy, the dynamism that animates the material body or organism, rules with unbounded sway and retains all the parts of the organism in admirable, harmonious, vital operation as regards both sensations and functions, so that our indwelling, reason gifted mind can freely employ this living, healthy instrument for the higher purpose of our existence. According to the above statement of Hahnemann, vital force is a dynamism that animates and rules the material body. It is this vital force that retains all the parts of the organism in admirable, harmonious, vital operation as regards both sensation and functions. As per his view, material body is only an instrument of indwelling, reason gifted mind. Hahnemann seems to think that the role of material body is limited to obeying the rule of vital force and acting as an instrument of mind. He does not consider the molecular level structure, organization, and chemical properties of the complex biological molecules constituting the material body to play a role in the evolution of the phenomena he called vital force as well as mind. He failed to note that a vital force cannot animate a non-living material body irrespective of its molecular level structure, organization, and chemical properties. Actually, it is the structure, organization, and chemical properties arising therefrom of complex biological molecules in the organism that initiate and maintain the molecular interactions of vital processes Heinemann called vital force. It is obvious that vital force theory perceives the whole biological processes from an upside down view. At least Samuel Hahnemann should have noticed that this all powerful vital force cannot animate material bodies if they have no a molecular level structure appropriate for the complex biological interactions constituting the vital processes. Again, Hahnemann says in Organ on Aphorism 10, 6th edition, the material organism without the vital force is capable of no sensation, no function, no preservation. It derives all sensation and performs all the functions of life solely by means of the immaterial being or the vital principle which animates the material organism in health and in disease. We cannot make homeopathy scientific without questioning this philosophical approach of Samuel Hahnemann. Can this immaterial vital force animate a metal body, a stone, or a piece of wood and convert them into living organism and give them sensations? Why vital force is capable of animating only material bodies having a peculiar molecular structure and organization? No vital force can animate a dead organism and bring it back to life once the biochemical processes essential for normal vital functions are stopped and the complex biological molecules are disorganized into its simpler constituents. All the functions you consider as vital force are seen only in highly organized organism constituted by complex biological molecules. It is the molecular level structure and organization of biological molecules and their interactions that impart properties of life to a material body. Vital force cannot animate a material object in the absence of biological chemical molecules and their highly complex interactions. Hahnemann says in Organ on Aphorism 12, 6th edition, that it is the morbidly affected vital energy alone that produces disease, so that the morbid phenomena perceptible to our senses express at the same time all the internal change, that is to say, the whole morbid rearrangement of internal dynamics. In a word, they reveal the whole disease. Again, he says in footnote of the same aphorism, how the vital force causes the organism to display morbid phenomena, that is, how it produces disease. It would be of no practical utility to the physician to know and will forever remain concealed from him. Only what is necessary for him to know of the disease and what is fully sufficient for enabling him to cure it as the Lord of life revealed to his senses. Wonderful thing regarding Hahnemann's approach is, regarding the question how vital force causes disease, he declares it would be of no practical utility to the physician to know and will forever remain concealed. Kindly notice, Hahnemann says the physician should try to know only what is necessary for him to know of the disease and what is fully sufficient for enabling him to cure it. Lazy and dogmatic homeopaths even today love to quote this statement of the master frequently to cover up their inability to answer the question how homeopathy works. According to them, our master has eternally forbidden us from asking such unnecessary questions. Hahnemann considers asking such questions as an absurdity imagined by minds of materialistic stamp, and it is this materialistic mind that made the prevailing system of medicine a truly mischievous, non healing art. Obviously, Hahnemann dislikes asking questions about the inner processes of disease and says it is an absurdity only because he has no answer for it. Even now, our scholarly homeopath friends use the same tactics when difficult questions are asked about homeopathy. Let me again quote from Organon, Aphorism 16, 6th edition. Our vital force as a spirit like dynamis cannot be attacked and affected by injurious influences on the healthy organism caused by the external inimical forces that disturb the harmonious play of life, otherwise than in a spirit like dynamic way, and in like manner all such morbid derangements or diseases cannot be removed from it by the physician in any other way than by the spirit like dynamic and virtual alternative powers of the serviceable medicines acting upon our spirit like vital force, which perceives them through the medium of the sentient faculty of nerves everywhere present in the organism. According to this view of Samuel Hahnemann, homeopathic drugs act as dynamic force through sentient nerves. But friends, all the in vitro research works done so far by scientists have proved that this sentient nerves and drug energy theory of Hahnemann is scientifically invalid and unsustainable. Researchers have proved that potentized drugs act even upon in vitro biological samples which do not contain any sentient nerves or nerve cells that are connected to all controlling brain and mind. There are enough scientific evidences now to prove that potentized drugs act upon the samples of various biological molecules even outside the body. Also, there are enough scientific proof that potentized drugs act upon our body by getting absorbed into it and traveling through the bloodstream, not through sentient nerves as Hahnemann imagined. Hahnemann's statement that disease may be produced by sufficient disturbance of vital force through the imagination and also cured by the same means actually demonstrates his totally unscientific approach to phenomena of so-called psychosomatic diseases which are well explained by modern biochemistry without any involvement of vital force theory. According to scientific view, imaginations and emotions are not non-material but involves material signals and biochemical interactions. What we call emotions and sensations are actually very complex biochemical processes happening in our brain. There is nothing immaterial in emotions and other mental processes. During those biochemical processes, different types of chemical molecules are synthesized, utilized, and released into the bloodstream by the central nervous system. Substances such as hormones, cytokines, neuromediators, neurotransmitters, etc. What we call bad effects of emotions are actually the delayed, off target, or rebound chemical actions of these biochemical molecules released from the brain. Biochemistry can explain such phenomena of mental and psychosomatic processes without any involvement of any immaterial or dynamic vital force. When Hahnemann says that it is only by the dynamic action on the vital force that remedies are able to re-establish and do actually re-establish health and vital harmony, we are bound to excuse him for that, remembering that the historical fact He was talking all these things 200 years back during a period when modern scientific knowledge regarding biological mechanism of disease, cure, and drug actions was that much primitive and gravely limited. Dear friends, hope I have succeeded in explaining the unscientific and historically primitive nature of vital force theory involved in the theoretical system of homeopathy, which naturally makes it unacceptable to modern scientific community. I know my explanations may not be acceptable or satisfying to most of you, as you think homeopathy cannot exist without vital force theory. This is an issue related with world outlook of individuals, you and me including, which I do not expect to be changed by a single lecture like this. Thanks for your patience and goodwill in listening to my words and watching this comparatively long video dialogue. Goodbye.